Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is 𝗃𝗃 binti Imam Habib. I would like to explain about halal certification in China. So let us explore my explanation about this halal certification. Whether halal certification is important or not. Let us begin. So we need to know what is halal certification. So halal certification is the document that guarantees that products and services aimed only at the Muslim population that meet the requirements of Islamic law and therefore are suitable for consumption in both Muslim majority countries and Western countries where there are significant population groups who practice Islam, such as United Kingdom, Spain, and France. Is halal certification is important or not? So let us explore about why halal certification is important. So halal certification is compulsory among Muslims to obtain only permissible food in their life. Besides, it also essential part when we wanted to travel to other countries. So the halal certification ensure that food products are produced in accordance with Sharia law, as well as being clean, hygienic, environmentally friendly, and respect animal welfare. Hence, all Muslims no need to doubt or worry about consuming food in other countries because they also have halal certification. On a side note, halal certification is a process which ensures the value and quality of food products in line with the regulation established by Islamic board that authorize the use of halal mark. It's often used for meat and food products like milk, canned food, and additive, particularly for meat products. Halal certification ensures that the animal were slaughtered with a single cut, truly bad, and that their meat had not come into contact with the slaughter of any non-halal animals, particularly with pork. And about halal certification in China. So for China's countries, there is no national halal certification authority organization in China. Therefore, when you travel around China from province to province, you may find that halal certificates are different in different areas of China. The current practice in China is that each province or autonomous region has its own policy concerning halal food regulation. There are various types of authorized certification bodies in China, such as Shandong Halal Certification Service, China Islamic Association, Linzia Halal Food Certification Center, and Halal Certification Service Chongqing. So for example, I will explain about Shandong Halal Certification Service, or known as SHC, because this halal certification is commonly used in China. So Shandong Halal Certification Service is an independent third-party evaluator that issues halal certificates for items exported to Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and other nations. Halal certification in Shandong ensure that the products and services are aimed at the Muslim population and they meet the requirements of Islamic law, making them suitable for consumption in both Muslim countries and Western countries where there is significant population of Muslim in Shandong. Next, we will move to the halal logo of Shandong Halal Certification Service. So, as you guys can see, this is a logo of Halal Certification Service. This logo is trusted and one of authorized halal certification bodies in China because they got accredited by the Gulf Accreditation Center, GCC Accreditation Center, and the governments of the United Arab Emirates, Malaysia, Singapore, and other countries that have given their approval to this halal certification. Move to halal certification guidelines of Shandong Halal Certification Services. So there are few guidelines of Shandong Halal Certification Services. First, Shandong food manufacturer must only produce and sell food products. Every candidate must ensure that the sources of ingredients are from and that they deal with certificate supplier of materials. Second, products should be transported separately from non-halal products, which means that they need to beware when they do production between non-halal product and halal product, so they will not occur any cross-contamination between haram and halal. So next, every company also must follow the procedures outlined in the procedure manual in all federal. So number 3, food products must be clean and free of non-halal ingredients during preparation, processing, packaging, and transportation. In Shandong, at least 2 full-time Muslim workers and Muslim must be employed in the kitchen section or in charge of halal food processing.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NOOR FARAH ERINA binti Muhammad Yusuf. I'm from IC 120582, and now I will continue with halal certification in New Zealand. There have 2 halal organizations that verified by JAKIM in New Zealand. That is, first, the Federation of Islamic Association of New Zealand, and second is New Zealand Islamic Development Trust. So, all products from New Zealand that have these 2 halal logo can be eaten or can be consumed by all Muslims in Malaysia. So now I will just explain about one halal organization in New Zealand, that is the Federation of Islamic Association of New Zealand. This organization was established on April 1979 by Mazhar Krasniki and other Muslim community leaders. The industry that they provide for apply halal certification such as slaughterhouse, confectionery, pharmaceutical, cosmetic, logistic, and so on. So because of a variety of industry that FIANS serve, it brings many benefits to the New Zealand and overseas consumer and exporters of New Zealand to produce more halal product. Okay, now this is the function of FIANS. Functions such as fostering good relation between the Muslim community living in New Zealand and all other New Zealand citizens. Second, it helped Muslims living in New Zealand integrate well into a local society. Third, promote the interests and enhance the effectiveness of the regional Muslim associations in New Zealand with a view of cooperate and coexist well with other ethnic groups in New Zealand. Fourth, maintaining a high standard of Islamic practice and to undertake welfare and educational activities. And last but not least is to develop and maintain good relations with the diplomatic community, community in Wellington and Canberra and other international organizations like the World Muslim League, the Arab League, and the Islamic Development Bank. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is 𝗃𝗏𝗏 binti Muhammad Mustafa, and today my friend and I would like to talk about our presentation topic, which is halal certificate on other countries, which is I think on Australia. So I will start with my first part. Let's continue. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I will start with my first halal certificate in Australia, which is the first is AHAA, in the term of Australian Halal Authority and Advisors. So as we know that Australian Halal Authority and Advisory, AHAA, is a leading halal certification authority established to provide reliable and professional halal verification. It's not only a halal verification, it also have to certification, audit and monitoring services across the range of local and global industries. So, AHAA certification is based on the most stringent, which is a conservative halal requirements and guidelines acceptance by all Islamic sects. So that is the most important, including continuous evaluation and the monitoring of processes, product and personal involvement from suppliers to customers for the others. So, for the third point is AHAA service is adhered to the high professional, which is in professional of morals, ethics, integrity, competences, and also to offer the assurance and confidence, transparency, liability, and much more. So, in the most important of them is that the peace of mind that a person deserves, whatever they are, halal consumers, halal suppliers, whatever, or spouses. So, AHAA was recently restructured and expanded to consolidate capabilities in terms of training and education, which is a good stuff. So, maybe they are getting involved in halal services, including audit and certification, and also business development with expansion to the other states or countries. Last but not least, AHAA also support Australian businesses in bringing their products to the global market by providing accredited halal certification services, which is having a halal certification expense to appeal to the product and dramatically increases the consumer base. So, to capitalize the Indonesians' growing up demand for MUI halal, which is in the backs of certificate products, also today they are bringing new steps, which is in growing the businesses and obtaining the halal certification, which is huge, right? Okay, I will continue with the halal certification guidelines, certification steps. So they have 4 steps, and the first step is apply. How they want to apply. So here is the each halal product submission form must be accompanied by a relevant material of the data sheets. So here is the technical ingredients, the specification sheets and requirement of each material used in the manufacture of the products. So the second step is confirmation. So, AHAA food technology teams will evaluate and suitability of the verifies the halal status of the products, which they are available to get the status of halal or outside. So, once it is confirmed, then the halal verification agreement and the fee will be will go through the applicant. So, the third step is audit and approval. So, halal audit and the premises conducted by AHAA Halal Services Manager or also AHAA representative. So, halal approval will be granted upon a compliance with the all halal requirement that throughout the relationship between the applicants and the AHAA. So, if there are a compliance process, the agreement will be assigned and the fee will be settled with the applicants. And last but not least, for the last step is a certificate. And once they are passes, then the last stage is assurance of the halal accreditation certificate, which is valid for only 1 year. They need to renewal thereafter. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, that in Australia they have many companies to authorize of halal certification of and products in Australians, but I mentioned AHAA is one of company that leading halal certification products in Australia throughout the countries, and also they are through their certification by many countries and also in global. So for next, I would like to choose a SYIFAA company, which is in the concept in the term of Supreme Islamic Councils of Halal Meat in Australia, which is they are leads by the product of meat in Australia. So SYIFAA is an Islamic non-profit organization detected by promoting halal food and also halal institution. And also SYIFAA is HQ. They have a HQ or headquarters in many places, which some of like New South Wales, Queensland in Australia, and much more. So SYIFAA certification halal products are also available in almost every major country in the world. So and cover all categories of the food industry, and mostly they are put in the food industry. And they also certify that halal products are sold in many markets around the world, which is everyone knows that food is very needed in everywhere that we go. So the SYIFAA halal certification program is cover all the categories of food and disposable products. Okay, so the next point is SYIFAA has been reorganized or exhorted by religious and government organization, such as mainly 𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗹 for Malaysian, which is in the term of Malaysian Islamic Development Department, MUI, which is Indonesian Ulama Council, MUIS, Singapore Islamic Religious Councils, and much more. So accredited by the Department of Agriculture, which is SYIFAA is the one of the leading and they organize certificate bodies in the industry, food industry or halal industry. So SYIFAA started operation in 1992, and it also extended their service to cover both the domestic and international export market from Australia to the other countries. Perfect. So there is huge potential for SYIFAA, which is they have a huge potential for Australian businesses and industry to expand and benefit. They are from rapidly growing international halal market, as we can see. So it is because the SYIFAA is also offer their service to their customers or consumers. They are of the halal industry in the line. It is because they can with the recognized food production methods prescribed and in the Islamic law, and so there are much that we can mix until they're worth over $1 trillion they can make every year. So this is the whole opportunity that has been there since due to the lack of uniform halal standards in Australia, which is in the huge by one line company that they can float down their products from the Australia, then they can export their products around the world. So why not? So I will continue with the next, which is the halal certification guidelines of SYIFAA, which is how they implement their product to get halal certification by SYIFAA. So they implement a halal certification program with the aim of ensuring that the halal food outlet in Australia certificate as their halal comply in the requirement of halal standard, which is they will follow all the standards by halal standard they are state for. So SYIFAA will be responsible for administrating and implementing in the halal certification programs. So they have they need a few things that to fulfill all the requirements or in the guidelines, which is they have 10, which is I will continue with one by one. Let's go. So SYIFAA also they have a halal certification guidelines how to apply in their lines, which is to get halal certificate for their products and also their company. So here is the implements the halal certification program with the aim of assurance that all food outlets in Australia certificate as halal comply with the requirements of the halal standards. So SYIFAA will be responsible for the administrating and also implementing in the halal certification programs. So shall we start? For the first thing is trading name of business, which is the business is restaurant, takeaway access business, canteens. They are all type of data they need to collect, and SYIFAA must ensure that the applicant has provided the correct trade name, ABN, business, and all their details they need to give. So we go to next, which is the second one is a nature of business, which is SYIFAA will ensure that there are transparency about the application. SYIFAA will not certify that any food products manufacturer that uses any pork or harmful ingredients in the product. So the third one is verification of purchases, which is ICQ will confirm that all purchases by looking at invoices, shipping records, and much more. So there are much data usage that they need to make and to ascertain all products and raw materials. So has been purchased the form from the branch that they has been certified halal, and other products is purchases and sold by the applicants meet the halal guidelines. Fourth is list of trading partners. If their business they have trading partners, then SYIFAA will derive from the applicants' names and all the trading partners who deal with it, which is they are required, they are in line or others lah. So next is cross-contamination. If in any case a mixture of halal and non-halal food such as pork, ham, bacon, and much more, so there will be a certified halal because of high risk of cross-contamination, then they will not continue with the evaluation. So next is preparation of food, which is all ingredients such as raw materials, flavor that they use in the preparation of halal product must be halal and alcohol free. That's absolutely right. And next also personal and staff, which is all staff and employees and the branches, all they have branch of business to get involved in the preparation must be informed that the requirement of halal certification program, and they must go through the training or induction program involved by SYIFAA to that the application. So, top 3 for the last but not least. So after they are getting the personnel and staff, so they are go through the audit and monitoring, which is the audit committee appointed by SYIFAA will be responsible for the initial audit and the certification of the premises. So therefore the auditors appointed by the SYIFAA will conduct the periodic and random audits, so which to ensure that the outlets are compliant with the halal guidelines all the time. That's why they choose with the randomly, so they can know how is usually they are running their business as usually. So next, the second last is logos and labels, how they put their logo and labels on the product. So subject to SYIFAA approval, any SYIFAA logo or labels will be used for the product certified halal by it. But labels or logo cannot be used if the certificate has been expired or they are not approved by the certificate. So they must be sure lah. So, and lastly of requirement in guidelines is withdrawal of the halal certificate, which is SYIFAA reserve that the right to withdraw the halal certificate at any time in there is any violation of the condition or guidelines. There is a changes of ownership or the fee that any part of therefore they are still unpaid, or also expiry date of halal certificate that they must make a random checks, just like the logos and labels. So here, among the brands of products that come from Australia that have obtained their halal certificate, they are the following, just like here. And one of is Struggles and Ladydale. Next is Dairy Bell ice cream, chocolate M&M, Harvey Fresh, and also Helga's. Yes, thank you. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is HASANAH binti 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗃 and I will present to you about halal certificate in USA. The association background. USWAH, or the Islamic Society of Washington Area Halal Certification Department, is a globally recognized halal certification organization. We adhere to international halal and food safety standards, which are recognized worldwide and by the majority of Muslim-dominated nations. This is the logo of halal certificate in USA. The next point is halal certification guideline. The USWAH Halal Certification Department follows the following standards as outlined in our guidelines USWAH 096. Other than that, the halal products must conform with all applicable laws, including any different relevant federal or international standards. The example brand of halal USA is 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. So that is all from me. Thank you for listening.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 and I'm from class IC 12058. I would like to explain about halal certificate in Thailand, which contain 4 points. I will elaborate 4 points, which is the first one is the association background, the second one is the logo of the association, the third one is halal certificate guideline, which is for, there are 2 components in this one, which is for the guideline for the appliance and also the guideline to apply the certificate, and the last one is the example brands that got halal certificate from the Thailand association. I will briefly explain about the association background. The Central Islamic Council of Thailand is an association that handles about the halal product in Thailand. It is also known as 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃. It was established under the administration of Islamic organization. The Thai government suggested a plan in 1948 to build a halal food hub in the southern region. In 2009, the 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 announced the Halal Affairs Management Regulation, which established measures. In 2009, the 𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗃 announced the Halal Affairs Management Regulation, which established measures there's quality control for halal product as well as the usage of the halal logo. They use the Central Islamic Council of Thailand for their halal logo, which is all the product that have the Central Islamic Council of Thailand halal logo are considered as halal product. I will explain about the Thailand Halal Certificate Guideline. Halal Product Standard Certification means certification granted to slaughtering eviscerated parts and halal products production process according to halal product. There are certain guidelines and regulations that someone need to follow to apply the Thailand halal certificate. Okay, next I will explain about the guideline for the applicant. There are some characteristics that the applicant must follow. An applicant must have qualification as defined by the regulation of the Central Islamic Council of Thailand on Halal Affairs Management. For the certificate and halal certificate mark permits validity for 3 years and cannot be transferred to other people. The certified person can request to use the halal certification mark as defined by the regulation of the Central Islamic Council of Thailand on Halal Affairs Management. In case of change in certification scope, the change must be notified to Halal Affairs if it does not affect halal standard compliance, such as a reduction of in certification scope. When it is approved, Halal Affairs should issue a new certificate and halal certification mark permit having validity period equal to the remaining period of the old certificate and halal certificate and halal certification mark permit. The certified person shall return the old ones to the Halal Affairs. That is the guidelines on how to apply the halal certificate for a product. The last one is an example of brand that got halal certificate by the Central Islamic Council of Thailand. All the brand and product that got the halal certificate from the Central Islamic Council of Thailand are allowed to consume by all Muslims and non-Muslims. That's all from me. Thank you.